All right. Welcome to the Founders Table. Pull up a chair and have real conversations with real founders about the things that you face as an entrepreneur, as a founder-led organization that is trying to grow. And as you know how we do it here, I don't want you to see those. Let me shuffle these a little more. As you know how we do it here, we pull your card because often you feel like your card is going to get pulled at any moment. So these are all topics that founders face. I'll fan them out there. Pick something here. What color do you like? Ooh, purple. We're going with purple today. And what's on the card?
Most rewarding moment of your career.
Ooh, that's a good one. Most rewarding moment of your career. So I'll start this off by saying it's more about the journey than the destination. And that's not just like cliche, you know? That's not just cliche. I truly believe that because every time I've arrived somewhere, every time you've got a nice watch on, I've got a nice watch on. Every time I've actually got the thing, it was cool, but it was all in the lead up to get there, because once you have the thing, it's just a thing. It's just another thing. But it's when I look at this and I realize the journey I had to go on, to put myself in a position and what that meant when I did it, was the most meaningful thing. And so for me, there's been these moments in time that are quite memorable, but it was always the journey to get there. Is anything coming to your mind?
Yeah,
because I do have one, but I'll let you go.
I have one, but it's a story.
Okay, I got a story too.
It's a pretty good story.
How long's the story? I mean, is it a 30-minute story? Is it a 7-minute story?
It's a pretty good story, though.
Let's go. I got a good story too. So we'll go story for story, and then subscribe, and comment. Who has the better story today about our most memorable moment, or most rewarding moment of our career?
Rewarding moment. This is a tricky one, but I'm gonna tell the story of probably how I became a business owner. Right, because there's a rewarding story about loyalty being in there and how that happened.
Okay.
Right. So I never thought I would own a business. Right. It just wasn't.
That's so funny for me to think about that with you.
At all. I worked at a restaurant. I was a manager of a restaurant, and then someone I knew was like, "Hey man, you have a great mouth, man. You should be selling on the phones. You can make a lot of fucking money." Right. I get into the mortgage business. And as a mortgage broker back in 2001, which was the hottest business in the world back then, that, right? You come in, the rates were low. People had refinance, save a ton of fucking money. And I came into that business and I immediately excelled. And when I got into that business, I was just coming off of working in the restaurant business, working double 16 hours a day. I had a really good work ethic DNA built up in me because I was just working all the fucking time. To me, it was normal. So I got into this mortgage business, and there was guys coming at 9, leaving at 3, 4 o'clock, And I'm
what's going on?
These guys are working a quarter of a day, you know what I mean? So I was coming an hour early. I was staying 3, 4 hours late by myself, grinding, making the phone calls. And the owner of the mortgage business took a liking to me because I was a grinder, and he was throwing me extra leads. And then when I got my first check for $7,000 for a month, which to me was
all the money in the world.
Yeah, because I was making $700 a week back then. I was wow. And then the next month I made $15,000. Then I made $20,000. Then I won the Rolex contest they had. And I was just crushing it. So, long story short, he makes me a team leader. All right, the guy, his name was Mike, right? Always took care of me, extra money on my checks. Always took all the best brokers out for the week. We were in New York, limos, steakhouses, clubs, bottles. He was a crazy spender, big shot Wall Street guy. So he's like, we're moving to New York City. We're going big. We're going to Times Square, and we're going into the Paramount building on 50th and Broadway, 24th floor, room for 100 guys. We're going big. So we moved this office into New York City, right? And I had my team, and there were 7 other teams. We're right in the heart of Times Square, dude. It was sick.
Wow.
HBO was in our building, Showtime, and here we are, these mortgage broker fucking maniacs, going out every night in New York, partying and making money. And my team was crushing it. My team at some months made more than the other 5 teams combined.
Wow.
Because my team came in hour early every day. We stayed till 8 p.m.
They were
every night.
following your work ethic.
And they were following my work ethic, right? I mean, so what I didn't know was that the guy that owned the mortgage company, right? And I didn't find this out till we moved to New York, was on trial to go to jail for fraud he did as a stockbroker.
No way.
Right? So this guy made like $12 million in 18 months in the stock business, right? Got in trouble, got indicted or whatever.
Wow.
Right? For some kind of fraud, whatever the fuck he was doing. And while he was going through and delaying the trial, starts a mortgage
company,
business.
of course, as you do.
Because there was no regulations back now to start a mortgage business.
You need a lot more, yeah.
Licensing, this and that, with background checks. Anybody back then could have started a mortgage business. So this guy's on trial. Now he's making fucking $500,000 a month as a mortgage broker owner while he's on trial. I had no idea. So I'm finding this out. I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, the sentencing's coming up in a couple of months. He's probably going to go do like 4 or 5 years. And I'm like, what? So he's like, yeah. So the guy's like, look, we're gonna put Anthony, Joey, and Chris in charge of the office. You know what I mean? While I'm gone for these 4 years and this and that.
He's like, I'm just gonna be eating my top ramen in my prison cell while my company's making millions of dollars.
Bro, this is crazy. Listen, right? So he gets sentenced. He's crying, right? He goes to fucking jail. And now these 3 guys that were friends of mine, we all hung out, we were all close, these guys partied together, they're now in charge of the office, right? And these guys are making like 50, 60, 70 grand a month doing nothing, bro. We got our teams, we're all working mortgages, they're just sitting back on their feet. They had this override on the office and they're killing, making money. So this guy's in jail now in Fort Dix, which is down in South Jersey, right? So now the 3 guys my friends who were running the thing, they start to try to collude and like, you know, and like,
hey, what's this guy doing anyway?
This guy's in fucking jail making all this money. Fuck this guy. Let's fucking go and start our own.
They have no idea like what he did to get him there.
And they're trying to wrangle up everybody in the office to make this fucking leave, or one day we just all leave this fucking office, leave this guy hanging with the fucking rent, start a new mortgage company. And I'm the only one going, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Well, you guys are fucking making all this money. I'm happy. He always took care of me. So what if he's in fucking jail? We got him made over here. What the fuck? And they were and fuck him, that piece of shit. And they were like, they had everybody ready to do this big
little coup.
This big like hostile fucking takeover and fuck this guy over. And me, well, this guy always took care of them too, right? I mean, and then maybe the guy wasn't like the nicest guy. He could have been a real dick.
Yeah.
But no matter what, we were all making a lot of fucking money, bro.
Right.
And it was an easy fucking job. And those guys were doing nothing. And they were my good friends, by the way. So one day, bro, middle of the day, right? It's just a regular Tuesday around like noon. All of a sudden, fucking this guy walks in all suited up with 3 cops. Right, they come walking into the fucking office. Everybody's looking, and they walk. They're like, Joey, Tona, Anthony, or whatever their names were. Come over here. They're like, what? And the guy serves them papers. You guys are terminated, breach of contract, blah blah blah, and don't try anything funny. We have because these guys were hotheads, right? Everybody just stands up, and these guys start flipping fucking desks over. The cops fucking grab them, dude, cuff them, escort them out of the fucking building, dude. This is like midday on a Tuesday. And I'm like, everybody's just like, no one even knows what the fuck just happened. These guys get escorted out in handcuffs.
No way.
Dude. Yeah. And I'm just like,
God, I love New York stories.
I'm like, what the fuck, right? So I'm just sitting there, my phone rings, half hour later. Hello? You have a collect call from Fort Dix jail. I'm like, hello? He's like, Anthony, it's Mike. Yeah. He's like, I got to see you tomorrow. I put you on the visiting list. Be here 8 a.m. tomorrow. I'm like, this is like movie shit, dude. I'm like, yeah. All right? I fucking, dude, I don't even know what's going on in my fucking head, dude. I'm like, I drive down 2 hours to fucking Fort Dix jail the next day, prison, and you know, the whole thing with the glass, with the phone, just like you see in the movies. He's in this yellow fucking jumpsuit, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo. He's like, Anthony, how you doing? I'm like, what the fuck is going on, bro? He's like, look, man, just want to let you know something. He's like, I had fucking cameras and microphones in that whole office. He's like, I knew exactly what those guys were trying to do, and you were the only one who had my back. He's like, look, do me a favor. The office is yours.
Wow.
You run the office now. Just do me a favor. There's 18 months left on the lease. Run through the rest of the lease. Here's your override. You get the whole fucking thing. And after it's done, you go ahead and start your own business.
Wow.
And then I came back, and then I ran the office for 18 months. I crushed it, and then I went and I started my own mortgage.
And did he get out in 18 months, or?
He got out like maybe 3 years later. Wow. He only had served like 6 months when that first thing happened, so he still had a while to go.
Wow.
So I guess the reason why I picked that was like that.
No, that is a super rewarding moment. I mean, that's like a super, like, because that one moment you talked about, I think on a previous podcast, like there's no accidents or no coincidences, right? Like that singular decision of loyalty, the singular decision of right and wrong, like has put us sitting here today.
Right.
Like that's all connected.
Yeah.
Right. Because you said, no, I'm not going to do this. He says, all right, because you did that, I'm going to do this. That started your first business. Because you started your first business, you did this, which met Kevin. I mean, like
everything.
You could link up all the dots to
Yeah.
that singular decision. So of course that's super rewarding.
It's fucking crazy.
Because
right?
you wouldn't be reaping the rewards today from that one right there.
I would have probably never even started my own business. I was happy being a team leader back then, just having a team.
That's crazy. Dude,
That's
this
how
is
it
like,
went down.
welcome to Meatball Mortgage, huh?
Bro, how's that for an East Coast?
Wow, that's
fucking
what
story?
that's an East Coast story. Is like the dude's in prison that
Bro,
owns the company, and
bro,
cops are coming in, and tables are being flipped over, and people are going out like
Bro,
this.
but
And you got
and just the way like the cops come in with the attorneys, these guys are flipping tables. They cuff them out of the office. Phone call rings from jail. Come see me down in prison tomorrow, 8 a.m. Like, dude,
Did he ask you to keister anything?
yeah.
He's like, hey, bring me a little something, all right?
Could you imagine, bro?
Wow.
That's sick, right?
Wow.
I don't know if I told you that story.
I
might have, but it might have been a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't know if I heard it. No, I mean that's great. I mean, even I hear your stories for the 10th time. I'm like, they're still great. You know? That's crazy, but it's all connected. You know, and you know, like they call it reaping the reward, right? Reaping the reward. But in order to reap, you must first sow. Right, you must sow. You must plant seeds. You must do the things, and then you reap the reward.
Yeah.
So I mean, I got one, but I think that's a mic.
How about we save yours for next time?
Yeah, I think that's just a mic drop, and we just end on that.
All right. So look, Mackenzie. Next episode we start with rewarding for Nick. 'Cause I want to, because his stories are even better than mine. So we'll do that.
Mine's more like a sappy love story. Like mine's a Hallmark, rewarding story.
Mine was a fucking Jersey East Coast story.
Yours is like Goodfellas.
Yeah, mine's totally like a Goodfellas.
Mine's like John Stamos, and you got Al Capone.
This guy, before we wrap it up, so this guy, he was such a legend in the stock business, and everybody knew who he was in New York. He had a lot of clout. So what he would do is every single Thursday, right? He would take the top brokers of the week. Every single Thursday, we go in a limo from New Jersey, go to New York City, and go to a steakhouse. And then after we went to steakhouse, we would go to a strip club.
Wow.
All the high. Every single Thursday, and come home at like 5 a.m. And he had a rule. The rule was, if you came out with me, and we came back, no matter what time it was and how fucked up you were, if you were 1 minute late the next day, you were never allowed to come out with me again. That was his rule. So I
would have been smoked, dude. I'm the worst. Like,
we used to just sleep in the office.
No way.
Because we didn't want to fucking be late and not miss the next, Thursday night. So you ever hear of Spark Steakhouse?
Isn't that like a strip club steakhouse?
No. Spark Steakhouse is famous because that's where fucking John Gotti shot Paul Castellano in front of.
Really?
Back when John Gotti took over as a mafia boss. That's known as the Mafia Hangout. This guy had so much clout. I remember walking in, and everybody knew this guy. And we walked, and this place was fucking packed all the time, bro. I mean, you could not get a table unless you knew somebody. And even the bar and the lobby was full. Even the bar was 10 deep. You couldn't move in. I remember walking in, and they're all like, Mike, hey, Mike. He's like, I need a table for 8 right now. They're like, hold on 1 second. Just like out of a movie in Goodfellas, bro. I see a guy walk down some stairs with another guy. They come upstairs with a table. And right behind the bar where everybody moved out of the way in the lobby. And they just fucking plopped the table down right there in the middle of like the bar area. Make some room for Mike.
Wow.
It was like that.
Dude, this is great. I love this shit, man. Yeah.
I got so many more like that with him.
Mine's like a sappy love story, and you guys are steaks and strippers.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow. Well, you heard it here first. You gotta reap the reward of what you sow, and it's all about the journey, not the destination. But that destination is just the start of another journey. So until our next episode, this is Nick Long and Anthony Michelio. Pull up a chair next week for another episode of the Founders Table.
We're out.